This is Nightline.
Tonight, the brazen heist inside the world's most famous museum. What we're learning about the precious and priceless items stolen in broad daylight and the hunt for the audacious thief. Plus, the boss, Bruce Springsteen, famous for huge hits like Born to Run. Now bringing the story behind the music to the big screen.
I do know who you are. Well, that makes one of us.
Opening up about the hard times away from the spotlight.
I really knew what to do with those 3 hours on stage. It was the other 21 that were killing me.
And what happened when the Bear star traded his chef's knife
Yo, we good?
for a guitar.
There's such big shoes to fill.
And Julia Roberts catching up with Diane Sawyer after all these years.
Even your ears are blushing.
The Pretty Woman star now stepping into a new role as a Me Too era professor.
You don't know that.
In a Who Do You Believe thriller.
There's so many layers of mystery going on.
And the wicked reveal, which big star is set to voice the Cowardly Lion.
From ABC News headquarters in New York, this is Nightline.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Tonight, the urgent manhunt for the thieves behind the audacious heist at the Louvre Museum. The robbers breaking in and out with the loot in less than 4 minutes. Here's ABC's chief international correspondent, James Longman, in Paris.
The most famous museum in the world is a crime scene tonight as investigators hunt down 4 thieves who stole France's crown jewels in a stunning daylight heist. Officials say the gang struck shortly after opening Sunday.
This is the busy road the thieves came down. Remember, we are right in the heart of Paris. They parked up here, placed that mechanical ladder up against the balcony, and you can see the broken window where they made entry.
In less than 10 minutes, 2 of the men disguised as construction workers cut their way into the Apollo Gallery using power tools a few hundred yards from the Mona Lisa and raided some of France's most important crown jewels. Moments later, they were back on the ground, jumped on 2 waiting scooters and disappeared into Sunday morning traffic. 8 priceless items taken, including this elaborate brooch encrusted in more than 2,400 diamonds, sapphire, emerald and diamond jewels, all part of the 18th century Royal Napoleonic collection. But authorities say this professional job didn't go entirely to plan. They dropped the gold and diamond crown of Empress Eugenie, some 200 years old, on the street, causing severe damage. Also left behind their tools, a blowtorch, gloves and gasoline, all now in the hands of investigators hoping for DNA evidence. At the Ministry of Culture, where the beauty and heritage of France is on proud display, some difficult questions for the woman meant to keep French history safe.
Madame la Ministre, James.
On regarde les images.
All the evidence points to organised crime, she tells me. This was a simple but spectacular operation. They spent just 3 minutes and 50 seconds in the gallery, but we can't rule out an inside job.
Our thanks to James. We'll, of course, continue to follow the manhunt as it unfolds. We turn now to the rock star they call the boss, Bruce Springsteen, pulling back the curtain on his struggles away from the spotlight. Here's GMA co-anchor George Stephanopoulos.
Hard to believe that 50 years ago, Bruce Springsteen gave us Born to Run. Or that it's been more than 40 years since we were all dancing in the dark. At 76, Bruce Springsteen is more than a songwriter and performer, a storyteller for generations of fans looking for a voice.
Bruce Springsteen's on a rocket ship. We don't want to miss that window.
And now his story, immortalized on the big screen.
Songwriting's a funny thing. It's about searching for something. Something that's going to give your life a little bit of meaning.
What's it like watching a movie about the most painful moments of your life? Well, they tend to be the most interesting moments of your life at the end of the day, you know, when you're making your way through some sort of crucible, hopefully to come out the other side with some knowledge gained, some greater sense of self, and a story to tell.
Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, tells the deeply personal story of the rock legend's struggles with depression while making his 1982 album, Nebraska.
Sir, I guess it's just a meanness in this world.
Scott did an incredible job of transposing the fundamental nature of the album into film. It's a character-driven drama with music. And he understood the deep psychological underpinnings of the story itself.
He actually said it's about a neglected soul repairing himself through music. Is that how you see it?
Well, music was the first way that I really medicated my anxieties and my depression.
It's hard coming home.
Quiet can get a little loud.
It's one of the things that comes through in the film is that you hit that point where you realize it's not enough. You can't heal yourself only through the music.
I really knew a lot what to do with those 3 hours on stage. It was the other 21 that were killing me. You know? So you better figure out what you're going to do with those or you will have no life.
Coming off the road has never been easy for you. You just need to give it some time. It'll pass.
Yeah. Did you know then, at those darkest moments, that you were going to emerge whole?
No. In the middle of it, there's a lot of confusion, chaos, you know, unsureness. You know, I think that I was very surprised when I had my initial, whatever you'd like to call it, breakdown, anxiety attacks. I had, up to that point, been quite successful in using my musical meds and keeping myself relatively steady. So it was very shocking to run into it where suddenly those things stopped working.
Directed by Scott Cooper, The Bear's Jeremy Allen White stars as Springsteen alongside Succession's Jeremy Strong as Bruce's longtime friend and manager, John Landau.
I can only imagine what it's like to get the phone call that says, how'd you like to play Bruce Springsteen?
Yeah, heavy call. Yeah. There's such big shoes to fill, and I wasn't sure. I don't play guitar, I don't sing. I said, are you sure you don't want to find a guy that can kind of do some of these things, you know?
Born down in a dead man's town, the first kick I took was when I hit the ground.
But he thought I was the man, and I read the script, and I saw how intimate this particular story was, and I thought I had to try.
Bruce, I read that Patty, when she first saw Jeremy on set, said that's Bruce at 32.
Yeah. Well, there was something about the way Jeremy carried himself. He was the first guy that I thought of. There was a common physicality in the way we moved.
Bruce has far exceeded my expectations because he has so much humility and so much grace, and I've found that so does Jeremy. But what they share, that they don't teach at Juilliard, is swagger. And you either have that or you don't.
I always tell Scott when he says I have humility and swagger, he's half right.
One of the most real things, at least for me watching it, was this portrait of a friendship between two men that you don't often see in film.
That was one of the things in the script that excited me the most, is about seeing this sort of a brotherhood and loyalty and love between two men that it's normally reserved for like a war film or something like that. You don't see men in this environment sort of leaning on each other.
No singles, no tour, no press. No, really.
No joke. Everybody, including myself, was expecting sort of the next evolution of Bruce and the E Street Band and a big rock album. And it was just starting to emerge slowly that, hey, that isn't the path that we're on. And I had to readjust.
In this office, my office, we believe in Bruce Springsteen.
I don't know how much time you had to prepare. What do you do?
It's a kind of relentless process of observation and study, internalizing your subject in a way. So he was my mark, He thought we were just hanging out and talking.
let me jump in here. Jeremy comes to see us, and we're doing a show in Denmark. And at the end of the show, I'm walking Jeremy to his car. And I come back, and our road manager, he just says, I was watching you guys walk to the car. You know something? He walks exactly like you. And I just realized he was just copping me right there, you know, right from the beginning.
But it can't have been easy to be sitting there playing Bruce Springsteen with Bruce Springsteen sitting on set.
I gotta say, I felt a little bad about that. I still do, that I was on set so much.
No. I think I was nervous that Bruce was there, or in my deepest insecurity, that Bruce was there to pick apart what I was doing. But then very, very quickly I learned that he was there to be a guide, to be a support. I had, I think, the most fun right here. You know, we had a group of background actors that were so excited to be here that day, and I would be performing up there, and they would be screaming so loud, and I could really find a moment where I tricked myself and I felt like they were screaming for me. And then our first AD would yell cut and everybody went silent, and I realized I'm just an actor. I am no Bruce Springsteen.
Our thanks to George. Springsteen, Deliver Me from Nowhere, opens Friday. Here's a look ahead at Tuesday's Nightline. A rapist finally sentenced 12 years after the incident. How some Facebook messages cracked the case. And when we come back, Oscar winner Julia Roberts one-on-one with Diane Sawyer decades after their first interview, circling back on a certain question, how she answered this time after the break. Welcome back. Julia Roberts, long known as America's sweetheart, now a veteran actor, arguably at the height of her abilities, sitting down with Diane Sawyer to reflect on her new movie and the conversations it's sparking about truth and loyalty. Here's another look.
Julia Roberts arrives.
Tense up, everybody. Tense up.
Me. I told her the new movie is so provocative.
New question.
I keep wrestling with it, changing my mind.
I'll just tell you what I think.
Okay.
You could go home if you want, because I really have so much I'd like to say.
I want to know what you think.
In the film, she plays a powerful but mysterious Yale professor at the center of a quartet of great actors. She's trying to piece together a kind of Me Too puzzle, an accusation against her close colleague and competitor by her student and protege. So who is telling the whole truth?
What are you saying happened? There's so many layers of mystery going on. I mean, I know there's sort of the obvious question of an incident and who's telling the truth, but who is ever telling the truth or not, and why in this movie is what's so interesting to me.
She is challenging to Io Adebari, who plays the graduate student from a powerful family, as the film asks, do we know everything about her motives?
I don't feel comfortable having this conversation with you anymore.
Not everything is supposed to make you comfortable, Maggie. Not everything is supposed to be a lukewarm bath for you to sink into until you fall asleep and drown. And it's been really such a beautiful thing to sit next to Io, who I really admire and adore, and to listen to the words she chooses and the way that she sees the world in this movie.
And Julia's character is just as challenging to her friend, that professor played by Andrew Garfield. Charismatic, untamed. She says, watch his intensity. This was his first scene on his first day on set.
You know the truth, and you won't say it because it'll make you look bad. You're gonna ruin me, ruin my life, and you can easily stop it.
You give me too much power, Hank. I did not do this. You did this to yourself. First take just blows in and has this great scene, and you know, it's a long scene, and then it's over, you know, cut, and I was just like, oh, I'm sweating.
And at the center of it all, the question, what do we do with loyalty? and doubt.
And having an ability to share opinions, to disagree, to have discourse, and leave room for the person opposite you having these conversations.
It's almost as if, is there a place beyond all these certainties that we can just meet and grapple together?
That is so perfectly said. So perfectly said.
The actors and their director had a chance to talk about all this when they made the unconventional decision to live together at Julia's house for a couple of weeks before filming. She and her husband, cinematographer Danny Moder, cooked the food.
I still can't believe that you all had God's sleepaway camp at your house, and everybody got to come stay at your house.
I mean, I love a good puppy pile of people. As you know, some days it felt like tight corners, and some days it's like, do we have any more clean forks? Somebody wash some forks. But it was great, and I think it was the fast track to the inside of each other.
I told her some writers are calling her performance astonishing, powerful.
The monumental center,
Oh.
the coiled spring. You can stop me. Or
Did you write all these things, Diane? Thank you.
Last night. Do you like them? Truly breathtaking. And that you get the varying shades of earnestness, caginess, altruism, and selfishness.
Wow.
Of being a human.
Will you send that to Danny?
She is now 57 years old, but it's always tempting to roll back the tape on her amazing career. An Oscar winner for Erin Brockovich.
I love the world. I'm so happy. Thank you.
A Pretty Woman.
Big mistake. Big. Huge.
And that first burst into the screen behind the counter in Mystic Pizza.
Dirtbag.
When I first interviewed her early on, she was still so vulnerable, maybe trying to find her way.
You know what I love the most about this moment? What? Even your ears are blushing. Your ears are blushing. I mean,
I'm telling you, my heart is racing right now.
And they were just so bright.
So red. Well, that's why I have them hidden now.
Now she's a woman in full command with the lucky gift of a 23-year marriage and 3 grown children she adores. So I thought I'd go back to a question I asked that young woman long ago. What does she hope heaven will be like?
There would be music. There would be dancing. Everybody would have wings in any color, in like their favorite color, right? And then at night, when everyone went to bed, it'd be really, really quiet. And then you just hear little bells in the very background that you could only hear if you really listened.
I stand by my responses, yes.
And do you want to amend anything in heaven now?
I think we need a bigger table.
Our thanks to Diane. After the Hunt is in theaters now. When we come back, the Insta reveal. Huge star joining the cast of Wicked for good.
See you in Oz.
And finally tonight, Wicked and the Lion in Colman, Domingo. Oh my. The Oscar nominee tapped to voice the cowardly lion in the much-anticipated Wicked for good. First spotted as a cub in last year's blockbuster. Now all grown up and off to see the wizard.
See you in Oz.
Wicked for Good opens next month. And that's Nightline for this evening. Catch our full episodes on Disney Plus and Hulu. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Thanks for the company, America. Good night.